Hello everyone, we're back. We're going to read chapter 3 today of Reincarnation, the Law of Karma, this book right here. We're going to talk about today the Romans and the Greeks. Before I talk about this, I want to explain that we recently got some news that we're going to start the CNA class for, because this is my second time going around it. I decided to become a nurse, go into nursing. Both me and Donald gonna start in December.
Well, it's actually
and
something new for me, so
we're gonna end up moving to Billings probably by January. And then our goal is to finish our psychology degree because it's always good to have backups in a psychology degree for bachelor's because we already finished our criminal justice degree in the bachelor's program from SNHU. Eventually, we're gonna plan on attending the graduation physically there. Our plan is if we decide not to do nursing, but at least do CNA, so we have some money to pay bills. If we decide not to go that route, we always have a backup between criminal justice because we already have the degree. So possibly work at the women's prison or become like probation parole officer or police or whatever over there. And if we decide it's too dangerous and that's not going that route, then the final decision is going to be criminal psychology, drug and alcohol counselor, mental health counselor. Finish our psychology degree for bachelor's. It's like 10 more classes. Do like one class at a time, and then when it slowly finishes, then possibly. So it's our last goal. And then do counseling and billing. So yeah, so it's always good to follow your dreams and follow your heart. Follow where you need to go because it's not good to always stay stuck in one place and be trapped and feel like you're stuck.
Is that me now?
Is that a sign? It's always good.
No.
It's always good to stay stuck. It's not good to stay stuck in your life, especially have people hold you back, control like your every move. So it's always good to make sure that you always have a backup plan and make sure you're good in life because we only live once, right? So always trying to make yourself as happy as possible. Self-love. Don't have people hold you back. Make sure follow your dreams and goals. So I'm going to start reading from here, chapter 3, the Romans and Greeks. Okay, one unfamiliar with the subject would naturally expect to find that ancient Romans would advance along the lines of philosophy, religion, and spiritual speculation. Judging from the all-power influence exerted by the Demon over affairs of the whole known world, particularly with the once considered relationships and then the connection of the Roman and ancient Greece, it would seem the two peoples have might be in common of the world thought. But such in the case, although the exoteric religions of Romans resemble of the Greeks of the borrowed or inherited, that there were little or no original thought along metaphysics, religion, and philosophy among Romans. This was probably due to the fact that the whole tendency of the Rome toward the material advancement and attainment, little or no attention been given to the matters of the concern of the soul, future life. Some of the philosophers of Rome's advanced theories regarding the future state beyond the faith of the ancestor worship of the masses of the people took little interest in the subject. Cicero, the truth that uttered the words of the indicate the belief in immortality that he said in the Scorpio's dream. No, that is thought that the body alone, which is mortal, the individual which is in entirety resides in the soul, nor the outward from the learn of the art that the God, that immortal intelligence which has given the movements to a perishable body. Just as the eternal God imitates the incorruptible body, Pliny, the younger, left writings that they may indicate that his beliefs in the reality of the phantoms of the Ovid, the religious verses, which would indicate that his recognition of the part band of the word survived the death of the body. But on the whole, Rome philosophy treated immortality as a thing of first chance, existing but not proven, and to be viewed rather than a poetical expression of the longing rather than established or at least well-grounded principle of philosophical thought.
Where? But Lucretius and others of his times of the countries protested against the folly of the belief and the survival of the souls held by the other nations. He said that the fear of the eternal life should be banished from the universe. It disturbs the peace of mankind, for it prevents the enjoyment of the securities of the pleasure. And Virgil's praised and commended the philosophical's attitude, which was able to see a real cause of things, and was therefore able to reject the unworldly fear of the world beyond and all fears arising from such belief. But even many of the Roman philosophers, while denying immortalities, believed in the supernatural powers and beings, and were very superstitious of childlike and in many respects, so that their philosophies of the non-survivals was inventedly rather than as a result of the temperament of the and pursuit of materials things than the height of philosophical reasons for the metaphysicals of thought. And so the Romans stands apart from the majorities of the ancient peoples in so far as the beliefs of the reincarnations is concerned. While there is where individuals, mystics, occultists among them, it still remains as fact that the majorities of the people held no such beliefs, and in fact the masses had no clarity denied ideas regarding to the survivals of the soul. It is strange exceptions to the general rule, and one that has occasions much comment and attention among thinkers along these lines. There was various forms of ancestors worships among the Romans, but even this was along the line of collective survivals of the ancestors, and was free from the ordinaries metaphysical speculations and religions dogmas. Roughly stated, the Romans' belief may be expressed by an idea of the last materials and more subtle part of man which escapes disintegrations after death, and which is some mysterious way passed on to combine with the ancestral souls which compose the collective ancestral deities of the family, and the peace of and pleasures of which were held as sacred duties on the parts of the descendants, sacrifices and offering being made towards this end. Nevertheless, here and there among the Romans were eminent thinkers and seemingly held a robust tentative believes in some forms of reincarnation as far instincts away, who says here on earth the soul comes and goes unendingly in invisible forms and animals which have acquired goodness well upon the human forms, and Virgil says, after death, the souls comes to the Elysian fields or the Tartarus, and there meet with the rewards of the punishment of their deeds during life. Later on, drinking the waters of the leaf, which takes away all memories of the past, they return to earth. But in most admitted to Rome, was deficient in spiritual insights and beliefs on the whole her material successes, having diverted her attentions from the problems which had so engrossed the mind of her neighbors Greece and her older sisters Persia, Chaldea, and Egypt.
Among the Greeks, of the contrary, we find that marked degree of the interest of speculation regarding the immortality of the soul as much as the interest of doctrine of metempsychosis of reincarnation. Although the great masses of the Grecian people were satisfied their popular mythology did not dispose of the question further, they indulged in the keen speculation on the metaphysical subjects, the still intellectual portion of the race are the most active in their search for truth. And their schools of philosophy, with their many followers and adherents, have left their indelible mark upon the thought of the man unto this day. Next to the Hindus, the Greeks were the great philosophers of the human race.
Stupid, what do you find some of this person? I don't know.
And the occultists and the mystics were the equal to the Persia, India, Chaldea, or Egypt. While the various theories regarding the soul were at the sands of the sea that were the teachers' schools and divisions of thought among these people. Still, the doctrine of reincarnation played a very important role during their philosophy. The prevailing idea that the worthy souls have passed upon the state of bliss without rebirth, while the less worthy passed the waters of the river of Lethaia, quaffing the waters of their forgetfulness and having the recollection of their earth life and the period of punishment, and they had undergone by the regions of the same obliterated and cleansed by their memories, and when they pass on their rebirth. One of the old Orphic hymns reads as follows: "The wise love light of the nor darkness, with the love of the travel of thy journey of the life. Remember that all is of the journey. When the souls return to the light, after they sojourn on the earth, they wear upon their subtle bodies like searing, hideous scars, the marks of the earthly sins. These are obliterated to go back to the earth to be cleansed. But the pure, the virtuous, and the strong proceed the direct son of the Dionysus." The teachings of the Egyptians left a deep impression upon the Grecian mind of not only the common form of the belief of the esoteric doctrines that were passed along with the newer people by their elder. Pythagoras was a great occult teacher of the Greece. In his school, each of the followers accepted and taught the great doctrine of the reincarnation. Much of his teaching was reverse of the four initiates, the mystic orders founded by himself or his followers, but still much of their doctrine was made public. Both Ephorus and Pythagoras, although several centuries separated them, were students at the knowledge in Egypt, having traveled throughout the country in order to be initiated the mystic orders of the ancient land, and returning taught to anew the old doctrine of rebirth. The Pythagorean teaching resembles of the Hindus and Egyptians in that so far it concerned the nature of the man, his several bodies of the sheaths, and the survival of the higher part of his nature. While the lower of the past perishes, it was taught that there's after death the higher part of the soul passed in the region of bliss, whereas it received the knowledge and has felt the beneficent influence of the development of the advanced souls, thus becoming equipped for the new life with incentives towards the higher things, but not having as yet reached the stage of development which will entitle into the dwelling of blissful regions for all eternity. It sooner or later reaches the limit of its term of the probation and then passes down toward another incarnation on earth, another step onto the path of attainment. The teaching was further, and the conditions, circumstances, and environments of the new earth life were determined by the actions, thoughts, and mental tendencies of the former life, and by the degree of the development which the several previous earth lives have manifested. In the respect of the teaching agrees materially with the universal doctrine regarding reincarnation and karma. Just a few more pages. Something after karma. Starts with the P.
Pythagoras taught their doctrines. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm so far away. Other reincarnations account for the inequalities observable in the lives of the man on earth, giving the locals reasons for the saints and establishing the fact of the universals and ultimate justice, accountable for on no other grounds. He taught that although the material world was subject to the law of destiny and fatality, yet there was another higher state of being in which the souls would rise above the law of the lower world. This higher state, he taught, had laws of its own as yet unknown to man, which tended to work out of the imperfect laws in the material world, establishes harmonies, justice, and equalities, to supplies the appearance deficiencies manifested in the earth of life. Follows Pythagoras, Plato, and great Grecian philosophers taught the old new doctrines of rebirth. He taught that the souls of the dead must return to the earth, where, in the new lives, they must wear out the old earth deeds, receiving benefits for the worthy ones and penalties for the unworthy ones. The souls profiting by these repeating experiences and risking step by step towards the divine. Plato taught that the reincarnated soul has flashes of remembrance of its former lives and also instincts and the intuitions gained by former experiences. He classed into innate ideas among these inherited experiences of former lives. It has been well said that everything can be found in Plato, and therefore one who seeks from ancient Grecians ideas concerning reincarnations, the problems of the souls may find that which it seeks is the writing of the old sage or philosopher. Plato was the past masters of the inner teachings concerning of the souls, and all who have allowed him to turn round freely from his great stores of wisdom. His influences on the early Christian church was enormous, and in many forms of the continuous, even unto this day. Many of the early Christian scholars taught that Plato was really one of the many very runners of Christ, who had prepared to propagate well for the coming of the Master. In Phaedrus, Plato describes the souls and explains the immortality. He teaches that man has the immortal body which is subject to constant change and is subject to death and disintegrations, and also in material souls, unchangeable and indestructible, and skins to the divine. At the death of souls as severed from the physical companions and rose purified and to the higher regions where the renders an account of itself and had its features alluded to it. If it was found sufficiently untended and unsullied by the mirror of the material's life, it was considered fit to admit it that the states of bliss, which was described as union to the Supreme Being, which later is described as spirits, internals, and omniscient. The base and very guilty souls undergo a period of punishments and purgations to end that they may be purged and purified to the guilt before being allowed to make another trial for perfections. The souls which were not were sufficiently pure for the states of the bliss, nor yet so pure that they need to be a purging process, were returned to earth life, there to take up new bodies and over to work over near salvations and new. To the end that they might be the futures attained by the blissful states. Plato taught that in the rebirth the souls were generally unconscious of the previous life. Although it may have flashes of recollections, besides this it has to form the intuitions and innate ideas which was believed to be resulting experiences gained in their past lives, in which acknowledged being stored so as to benefit the souls in reincarnations extenses. Plato taught that the immaterials part of the souls was to complex things, being composed of the numbers of differing through related elements. Highest of the hierarchies of the soul's elements is he placed the spirits, which he taught comprised consciousness, intelligence, will, choice between good and evil, etc., and which was absolutely indestructible and immortal, and which had it seated in the head. There.
That's it?
No.
Maintain other parts of the soul survive the disillusions of the body, which were only comparatively immortal. That is, they were subject to later dissolution of the disintegration. Of these semi-material elements, one was seat of the affection, passions, etc., that was located to the heart, while the other one, which is seat to the essential and lower desires, passions, that was located in the liver. These two mentioned lower elements were regarded as not possessed of the reason, but still having the certain powers of sensation, perception, and will. The Neoplatonists were the followers of Plato, who adapted the teachings of their many conflicted ideas, had held firmly in the doctrine of reincarnation. The writings of Platonius and Porphyry and the other mystics have had no such say in the subject, and the teaching of was to such much refined under their influence. The Jewish philosophers were affected by the influence of Platonic thought in the school of essence, and held firmly that the idea of rebirth was the source from which Christianity received much of its early influence. Okay, everyone, this is the end of chapter 3 of Reincarnation and the Law of Karma. So next time we'll talk about the Jews, essence, and early Christians in chapter 4, and we will give you more updates on what's going on with seeing anything. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye now.